It's time, once again, to pull back the curtain and sit down with two former NFL offensive linemen and learn something here. And specifically, we're going to learn something about C.J. Stroud being the best rookie quarterback in the National Football League. 5 touchdown passes, including an incredible final drive to beat the Buccaneers. Houston's got something going here with C.J. Stroud, boys.
Yeah, they sure do.
Yeah. And they nailed their first 2 picks with Will Anderson, too. We did a breakdown earlier in the year on, when you put so much draft capital into trading up to take the 2nd and the 3rd overall pick this year, you better hit, right? You can't afford to have one of those dudes be a bust. And they found their franchise quarterback in C.J. Stroud. Nothing rattles that dude. Like, even when I remember watching him on College Game Day a few weeks ago. Super articulate, sat down, calm as a cucumber, nothing over the top, and he just it goes right into his play too. The emotion doesn't control him. He's in full control of his emotion at every point in that game. Loved watching this game. So much fun. And you even kind of felt it at the end of the game when they got the ball back. Like, oh man, I think this dude's going to do it. Like, I think this dude has everything.
40 yards to go.
Yeah, they had so far to go, but you just kind of felt like watching that game and the flow of that game, you're like, this dude's going to do this. Like, this is not a question. Like, he's going to find a way to win this game.
And I think that's a great segue into what we were talking about earlier with the Caleb Williams thing. This is just one of those times where it's like, no matter what's put in front of him, he seems to respond extremely well. His teammates can obviously feel that. And you can go out and play so much better when you know the guy back there is not going to lose it over an interception or not going to lose it over a muffed fumble or something like that. Like, you just know, like, hey, no matter what, he's going to be okay back there. He might get a little rattled, but he'll be fine. That goes so far, especially for young quarterbacks. It's been a minute since I could remember a dude coming on the scene and, like, throwing 5 touchdowns in a game and looking this calm as a rookie and being like, what? We're good, right? We did something good today. We won. Like,
it shows you too, just like how much debate there was, and I mean, I don't know, who knows, but we'll see about Bryce Young going forward. But it's funny how there's all this consternation going into drafts, and then like 6 months after a draft, oftentimes it's like, oh, that was the best quarterback all along. Yeah. Okay, we were debating.
Don't get me wrong. A lot of it has to do with the quarterback in the right fit. I think that now we're seeing coaches that are starting to be like, you know what, he just doesn't fit a mold for us. This is what we are. This is what we want to be. This is who we want to become. This is what he does well. He possesses these traits. We should go with a guy like this. You're starting to see more teams that are like, what do you do well? Let's work off what you do well. We'll make things easy. And as we get better and as you start learning, we'll grow. Instead of just throwing 400 plays at him and going, hey, figure it out. Okay, stupid. You're like, dude, these kids don't get that.
Yeah. Well, let's dive into it here, boys. And by the way, if you're new here, this is the O-Line Committee. I'm Phil Mackey. I represent the fan perspective and ask dumb questions to Jeremiah Sirles and Alex Boone, who combined to play 16 years in the NFL. Like button and subscribe button to help us keep growing this offensive line lifestyle platform here on the YouTube channel.
Against the Bucs too, man. Like
the Tampa Bay Bucs.
The Tampa Bay Bucs. At one point, this defense was.
And the Buccaneers have been formidable this year, too. I think they've been better than a lot of people thought. We'll just take you through a few plays, some touchdowns, some not, that highlight the day
The anticipation of this throw.
Yes. That's what I'm so glad you
this
said
for
that.
me, watch C.J. Stroud. He doesn't look over here. Look at this play fake, and he just snaps his head around, and that's a timing throw. That's a complete trust in your receiver, Collins. And they've ran this play, and this just goes to his preparation, how he prepares during the week. You don't throw this play unless you know exactly where you can put the football and have so much strength and confidence in your arm that you know if this play is behind or this play is in front of him, it might be a pick. But, like, he snaps his head around right away and just delivers a strike in full stride. Full stride, right? If he has to break stride there, he probably doesn't score. But to hit this in full stride, and I think with having an all-pro left tackle in Laramie Tunsil really helps. A big offseason addition in Shaq Mason at the right guard spot, a veteran to bring into that room. This just goes to show a lot of what he's trusted in his offensive line. To turn your back like that, look how it makes the safety bite.
Yep.
That's the key to this whole play.
Go back.
Number 23.
Yeah,
that's
23
the safety,
right?
Safety's walked up there. That's the free safety walked down into the box, right? Because they're in 12 personnel, 2 tight ends back there. You assume this looks like a running formation in the wing like this, right? You have 3 tight ends. Really, it's 13.
13, baby.
And when he turns his back to the safety, watch number 23. The back gets turned, 23 is triggering because he knows he's the unblocked man in this scheme. if they're running a true duo play here, which is what they're faking, he knows he's the unblocked man. So he's thinking TFL, right? TFL, I'm going to stand up. I'm going to do some stupid, crazy dance, like get all excited. And he takes it hook, line, and sinker and just delivers a beautiful ball by C.J.
It's
Stroud.
a great run play design. It's also a better play action design because it's like Jay said, when you cram 3 tight ends in here, you automatically get 23's interest. He's like, they got to be running the ball here. And a simple play fake, like turning your back to him and just throwing a dart to Collins. It's super simple for a young quarterback, and it's a lot of what Jay said of trust. You have to go out there and throw that route in practice. You have to trust yourself that you're going to flip around and just whip it in there.
Little play action again.
There it
here.
is again. Little play action.
Bang.
Ooh.
And
I'm not entirely sure one of these receivers ran the right route.
I was going to
First
say,
of
that's a
all.
massive sail route right there.
That's
Someone's
a
running
big,
it over
like,
with a comeback.
With a comeback, you usually don't want to throw the ball when you have a 2-man route. Really, it's really a 2-man down the field, and there's kind of a third safety valve route here, right? Like it's max protection, but in reality, this play starts. There's only 2 guys out in the route concept, and somehow they end up within 5 yards of each other.
Yeah.
Maybe even
That's
3.
not
Maybe even 3.
that's not a good idea, right? So someone messes this up. I think that this route here, he needs to keep running. Like he needs to run this guy all the way off because look at that. They're literally standing next to each other.
But if they don't if he doesn't run the wrong route, it's not a touchdown because he winds up throwing a touchdown breaking
what Jay's
block,
saying
right?
is he thinks that this should be a go route. So
This
he
should be a go
take-
route.
He should
He
take
can't stop
27
running.
all the way out of here.
I think this is Tank Dell. Is that Tank Dell down there?
Yeah, I think so.
He needs to keep running,
Yeah,
right?
it's
The
Tank
idea here is you're running 27 out of the play. Like it
Got
works
it,
out.
got it.
It works out, but right, because 27. But if
See,
this
if he's
is
still
if this
running
is
here,
if this is
this is
a
a big
pro,
void.
if this is a all pro type corner here, if this is if this is a Gilmore or this is a Patrick Peterson or a guy that's seen these type of things, he's jumping this route for an interception.
Yeah.
Right, like see how he's just kind of late to it here, and like then this is just it's a great play, great throw, but I do think Tank Dell messes this up a little bit. But when luck's on your side, man.
And look,
like
there's a huge void here because these guys are all syncing up. Go back. If you
Yeah,
watch
these
this from
guys
the
right here.
wide, you can notice that there's only 2 guys in the route and there's 4 guys dropping to nothing. But what they have to respect is that CJ could take off and run. And that's why you start creating these huge openings in the defense. And if you can have 8 guys protecting, you're going to keep everybody away from number 7. And at the same time, you see these guys right here in this umbrella coverage. They're like, nobody's ran past us in 3 minutes. What are we doing? We're all waiting because if 7 takes off running, we can't let him go for 40 yards. So that's why this huge void is opened up. That's what I'm talking about when I say coordinators making it easy. You know that this is how they're going to respect you and play you. Make it simple. And at times, some people are like, 8 guys blocking. Dude, that scored a touchdown because everyone's so afraid that if this guy turns and runs, it could be even devastatingly same.
yeah, and they run. They again all these big plays, these big chunk plays are predicated off of play action. Right, play action, max protect. Right, you got multiple guys in there. You got the running backs pass protecting,
1, 2,
the tight
3,
ends
4,
pass
5, 6,
protecting.
7, 8
They
guys
pull
in
the,
here.
they pull the guard. Right, they pull the guard. The Shaq Mason's a right guard that pulls all the way back and comes and delivers a nice little pop shot there. Right, but all these big shot down the plays are off play action mass protect because you have a rookie quarterback. Like, yes, he's outstanding, but you can't rattle a rookie quarterback getting him hit really early and often, right? And so C.J. Stroud feels so comfortable right now. Again, it's a 2-man route. It's a 2-man route. It's a 2-man route, and they're
wide
still
open.
getting wide ass open. That's because it's a 6-man box. Right, it's a 6-man box, and so you're going to leave those corners on islands. And hats off to these receivers of finding ways to get open in a really, 2-man route concepts.
Here we go, a little 3x1. Get in with it.
Ooh, look at that little wiggle. Oh, that's a dime.
Dime, bro.
Absolute dot.
Tank Dell just.
What is he doing with his shoulders here, Stroud, on this? Is he shaking a safety right here? Merp, merp.
He's trying to get that safety to bite. He's trying to go back and give it to me from the wide again.
He's trying to get someone to bite.
He's trying to get someone to bite. I'm pretty sure what he's trying to do is get the middle safety to bite on he's trying to get him to bite on the I think it's gonna be a post route run by the middle receiver.
Oh,
here.
yeah. Okay.
Right. His whole point is he wants him to bite on that so that it leaves a 1-on-1 coverage for Tank Dell in the back, and then Tank Dell just runs right by him and he just throws this to the back pylon.
Yeah.
And this is on a rope
throw,
too.
man.
This is not a short throw, right? He's throwing it from, back there, and that is
35,
from the
40-yard
40-yard line and right
8
in the
yards
back
deep.
pylon.
On a dime, dude. Jesus.
His
the Ohio boys
accuracy
are
has
good.
gotten better and better, and you saw it in Ohio State. And always wonders, does it translate from college to the NFL and all those fun things? But he's shown that his accuracy and where his decision making is really coming along a long way.
So now we're going to fast forward here. 31 seconds left in the game. Down by 4. Touchdown. They're at the 45-yard line. Touchdown needed. 31 seconds left. They have one timeout in this current situation, but they will soon have no timeouts. They'll have no timeouts and need large chunks of yardage, as you'll see. So we'll run a few plays here.
Here we go. Spread them out a little bit. I like it. Oh, we got to look at that front. Yeah, you knew it was going to be a twist. Sillies.
So this burns their last timeout, by the way, and they're still not even.
Overload to the right. We're obviously going to want to slide some boys over there.
Antennas up, right? And this is where you're going, okay, one-on-one with your left tackle. And if you're sitting there as a Houston Texans, you're going, great. I'll go one-on-one with Laramie Tunsil all day, and I'll slide 4 over to the 3 to give ourselves some help. Dalton Schultz is going to chip his way out. Again, finding ways to create protection cues with not having to just leave everyone in there, right? You're going to slide everyone right, so you motion Dalton Schultz over to your left, and you go, hey, let's give Laramie just a little bit of this guy some eye candy to have to run through.
So you guys, dumb question. So you're sliding right, meaning for the audience, the center is sliding right.
Left guard's going with him. He has nobody over there.
So yeah, that was my next question is you've got this huge gap. Someone's probably going to fill it, right?
Yep.
So you don't know what's going to happen fully out of here. It's probably going to be a twist of some kind. So are you just are these guys just kind of sitting back and just letting it come to them?
What we tell guys on this situation is you have to get depth. You have to get back so you can see it play out. See how the farther you go, the more it gets back. The left guard does a great job, Titus Howard, of staying square. A lot of guys, when they come down here, because it is a big void, they end up turning. And this guy coming across their face, that's what they want you to do. They want you to get you to flip your hips so that you have to flip them back to catch this guy. But if you stay square and you stay on the same level as everybody and you get back and you get depth, like the center's jumping the crap out of the nose, but he has to. Why? It's Vita Vea. You can't let a guy like that get going at all. And this is sometimes where your personal formula has to go into how you're going to play people. Like, I'm telling everybody to get back, but this center, I'm like, no, you have to jump him. Because if he gets any steam going, he's going to bull rush you right into 7. So you jump, and everybody else has to get back and play off of that. But Titus Howard does a great job of staying square so that when number 9 comes back across right here, see how he's got him. That's easy. Where that becomes really hard for a lot of people.
And watch how Laramie Tunsil sets accordingly using his chip. So many tackles, when they think, I have a chip, they still fly out of there too much, and they give an inside move to this defensive end. He understands that Schultz is there to just get in this guy's way, right? He just hesitates. And so Laramie doesn't go anywhere.
It's a great
right?
job.
Laramie Tunsil just sits there and then uses that outside hand strike with so much power. Like, he's just punching with one hand, and you're watching him lift number 7 up out of his shoes. And now 7's got to just convert to a crappy bull rush because his initial move is completely stopped.
He blocks this guy with one hand pretty much the entire time, and that is a clinic tape of how you would want to pass set someone. A lot of people believe that you have to throw 2 hands. I am not a firm believer in that. Look at that. You can control somebody with one hand easily. If you put it in the right spot, go back a little bit, you can see he puts it right on the V of the neck. If you hit anybody in the V of the neck, you've controlled them right there. You're done. It's over. I'm 320 pounds. You are not. I am going to steamroll you now. That's why this becomes so fun. Because any way you try to go after these guys, they can just go, well, if you want our left tackle to go one-on-one, we can slide right the whole game. Like, we're not concerned about that. That makes things so easy for offensive coordinators.
So timeout. 16 seconds left. Ball on the 42-yard line. No timeouts left. So again, 16 seconds left. No timeouts. You're now in a situation where you probably can't even really clock it unless it's a really quick hit. You could throw a couple Hail Marys. So this is a tough situation unless you're C.J. Stroud.
Whole shot again. Tank Dell. Watch. We just talked about Titus Howard on the left side. We talked about how you got to jump Vita Vea, right? We talked about not letting him get started. Go to the wide copy, and I want you to watch his initial set, right? We're talking O-line here, right? Great throw by Stroud. But Vita Vea is one of the best bull rushers in the NFL. Like, hands down, you let him get 2 feet in the ground, he's going right through you. So see how everyone else is setting back off the ball? Look how Titus Howard jumps him, right? He doesn't allow for Vita Vea to get going, right? If you can stop his initial bull rush, then he's just going to be leaning on you, and you can survive that.
Is
But if
that
you
great
let
coaching
him,
there?
That's good coaching by the O-line of scouting your players and knowing, hey, I know that this protection is a long down the field throw, so you think get back off of the ball. But with Vita Vea, you got to get up in his space, right? You set deep off the ball here, and you allow him to get going, right? He hits him before he gets his third step in the ground. And then it just turns into a dogfight, right? And Vita Vea is going to throw you around and do all those things, but just a great job of utilizing a tool in his tool belt of the jump set.
Gotta love a good jump set. You want to bear wrestle with me? Come on, big boy, we can wrestle. You gotta love it. Hey, what does Nick say? If you catch that bull, you gotta ride it.
You got to ride it. You catch that bull, you got to ride that bull.
Best 8 seconds of your life, baby. I've taken some bull rides that I was like, hey, now.
Empty protection.
Here we go.
10
AMF,
seconds
baby.
left.
Can't hide on the field in empty protection.
I love it. Look at that.
Oh, my gosh. Absolute dot.
Strike. Look how calm he looks right now, too, right? Like, just
Right. Would you think that this is like,
No, I
game's
wouldn't.
on the line here?
But also,
you know?
like, I know it's not green grass, but we haven't shown one clip here
Go back.
of him getting crushed.
Yeah.
That's what I
Right,
was just
we
gonna
haven't
say.
shown one clip of C.J. Stroud having to deliver a ball like that, like when we did the Jacksonville Jaguars breakdown,
Yeah.
and Trevor Lawrence is
Lawrence,
getting peeled off the turf and picking grass out of his head because he's getting killed and still delivering these balls.
Watch
But
Larry.
like C.J. Stroud, the ability here, bang, spin move, nowhere to go.
Blue jerseys. Blue jerseys.
dude.
all
You
across
could
here, man.
he could read all of his offensive linemen's nameplates, every single one of them, which means they're all square, they're all doing a great job, and it just allows him to have this confidence to go up there. And again, the preparation during the week, knowing how you want to split the safeties, where you want to read them with your eyes, right? You see him scanning left first and then coming back to the throw, right? Just holding that safety in the middle of the field just enough to be able to thread the needle there.
Dude, I'm
Unbelievable
telling you.
throw.
Shout out to Coach Strouser down there, dude. The O-line coach, phenomenal. Just, did you see that? I'll tell
It
you
was
what,
amazing,
and shout
man.
out to D'Amico Ryans too for going in as a young head coach. I know people are like, oh, well, they're not the best, but being 4-4 with a rookie quarterback who's putting up performances like that and throwing darts. I mean, I'm telling you, that's what's exciting to see. When you turn on games like that and you see young coaches that are out there and he looks like he's having just as much fun. He doesn't look like he's panicked in any way. He's always super calm. I'm telling you, it starts from the top down.
I'm looking forward to the year-long matchups of Anthony Richardson versus C.J. Stroud in the AFC
yeah.
South. Those are going to be
It's
some
gonna be
fun.
so
I mean, you're going to start talking like you talk about like Burrow versus Mahomes and those type of things. I think those two could go head-to-head duel
Hey,
for a long time.
If you think about it, that whole division could rise up. Like, you know how the AFC North right now looks like a bunch of badasses at 7-2 and 5-3. The AFC South is close. Will Levis
Yes.
might be the answer for Titans. The Jaguars finally figured it out. All of a sudden, you look at maybe the Colts could be figuring it out when they get their quarterback. Like, dude, this is what's fun. This is when you start to take advantage in the draft. And when teams have been in historically lower teams, they start collecting capital and they start getting good players. And all of a sudden, these bad conferences all of a sudden start rising up, and you're like, wait a minute, where did they come? It comes from this young quarterbacks playing lights out. Now people are going to look at this. If I'm a free agent, I'm like, hey, what's going down in Houston? That dude's young too. They don't have to pay him. I'm sure they got some money right now. Get me down there in the next 3 years before they got to pay him $1 billion. He'll be the first one to get $1 billion.
They can overpay for a guard, and then you
Yeah.
guys can be very happy.
Hey, they do. Hey, free agency. Everybody gets overpaid.
Yep. It's all relative because at the end of the day, the salary cap prevents the owners from losing money. So, you know,
Yeah, they're fine.
but that's a subject for another podcast. Hey, Texans fans and football fans, if you enjoyed this breakdown, click that like button and the subscribe button on the O-Line Committee YouTube channel, and we'll see you for the next film review.